what a great homecoming weekend, and I think just the buzz all weekend, not just on campus or at the stadium on Saturday, but just all weekend. Went down and spoke at Free Boot Friday and then started there. And it was great to have just so many Hall of Famers back in. Obviously, the 3 inductees we had, the letter winners. David Garrard was on campus, saw that. We had 3 former NFL players on the sidelines, and Siobhan, Jaquan McMillan, and Julius Wood were there. So great to have all those guys back. Our guys that were seniors last year in the Military Bowl champs. I got their ring Saturday, and I think it just started for me in the Pirate Walk. You know, the Pirate Walk was as crowded as I've ever seen it. And Shane and Justin and Dwayne all jumped up there with us, and just to have those guys and being able to walk down that, and they were all 3 talking about they didn't get to experience that as players. So I think sometimes we forget how blessed and how fortunate we are to have something like that. And I just thank you to the fans and everybody who made that happen. The city of Greenville and everybody in Pirate Nation. And huge shout out to Chancellor Rogers and John Gilbert for everything they continue to do in pushing this program to the forefront and making it the top in the conference. So thank you to those guys, and probably flipping Brian's thing over here. But just a really good weekend, and it ended up with a win number 6 and bowl bound and a win over Charlotte. And you know, the goal of this program, one of our goals is to reach a bowl game, which we are now eligible for that, but it is not the single goal of this program. I thought we did a good job starting fast and getting out to a good lead. You got a touchdown by London early on. They jumped off sides on a field goal attempt, so we had to move the ball up there on the second touchdown, and Anthony Caden found Anthony back at the touchdown, and then Tymere Brown, I think he just got mentioned for honorable mention of Player of the Week. Defensively, had a pick 6, and then Caden kind of put the last touchdown in there to go up 28-0. Had some really good performances by a lot of young men. I think that played with great energy and great effort and great edge. Josh Benton had his first sack, came in on the Predator package there, a big 3rd down, got a sack. Up front, I think J.D. Lampley and Zion Wilson continue to play physical and the way we want to play. Just really proud. I think one of my favorite plays of the game was Kojo. JC catches the ball over the middle of Javante Connor, and you see Kojo just pursuing down the field and takes 2 defenders out and just kind of sets the tempo of who we want to be. But I thought him and Kyle Long and Darius Bell, all 3 up front, continue to chase the ball and give us really good effort. The kickoff team, I think they had 9 kicks on the day, coverage-wise. All of them that we kicked off from a normal distance there. We had the one we kicked off from around 20, but they did a really good job. I think the 2 they returned, they had 1 inside the 10, and they tackled them at the 15. There was a penalty on it, and then the other one's inside the 20. So great effort on that. And then Nick Mazzy in the kick game continues to be special back there. I think he's Special Teams Player of the Week this week. Had a 50-yarder, and that's a distance we feel good about him. And he can back him up a little farther. But the plan to win, our plan to win in these 6 things, I thought we won all 6. It's the turnover battle. So we obviously had Tymer's pick, and then Jackson Barker recovered a fumble as well. We got to do a little better taking care of the ball offensively, but we did have a turnover there, but we won that. The explosive play battle, thought we did a good job pushing the ball down the field, both in the pass game, and thought we had a few big runs there as well. Won that. Won the red zone. We scored on 100% of our red zone attempts. I think in the stats it's going to show up as the last one we didn't score on, but that's the one we took a knee on, so we're 100% there. And then won the rushing battle. I think 183-40. Field position won that. And the one I think we came the furthest on this season and grown the most is our penalties. We only had 1 penalty, and that was a silly celebration there in the end zone, which I told them in the meeting this morning. I said, if we get a 28-0, bring the ball to me, I'll spike it and I'll get the penalty. But I thought all in all, pretty good job. We talked about our expectations and our standard and how we raised the bar in our locker room, and we got to keep continuing to get up 28-0, keep putting the foot on the gas, and that's what we got to improve. Thought we got to do a better job on conversion downs offensively. We didn't do as good as we've done this throughout the season. Give us some big plays defensively, relax a little bit there. So those things are just things we got to keep attention to detail, even when you have a lead like that. So we got to continue to grow from there. So, but all in all, I thought the performance was pretty good. I'm excited to be back home this weekend and back in Dowdy. We just talked about one of our goals is make a bowl game. Another one of our goals is protect Dowdy, protect our house. And I think that takes everybody. We're 4-1 at home this weekend, this year. We won 4 games and trying to make it number 5. And I think that's going to take everybody to get it done. We talk about everybody in our locker room, offense, defense, special teams, scout team, everybody. but I think that's all of Pirate Nation to get it done this week. Facing a good Memphis team, a Memphis team who's 8-2. They've been in the top 25. They're preseason favorites to win the American Conference, led by Ryan Silverfield. I think he's won over 50 games there, and he's done it at all levels. I mean, he's been an NFL coach, he's been a high school coach, D3 coach, and very successful there at Memphis. The leads of the last 2 seasons, he's had double-digit wins. I think 10 2 years ago, 11 last year, and looks like they're on the way to win double digits again this year. So doing a great job over there. Defense coordinator Jordan Hankins. I know Jordan for a long time. I think he does a great job. Coaches ball the right way. They're kind of an odd front. They got guys that can run, athletic, got good depth over there. The guy that kind of stands out to me, he was at media days for you guys who were there. Number 9, Whitlow up front, does a good job. I think their linebackers are very active. They're going to pressure. They're going to bring it from different directions and ain't afraid to zero out and bring 6, 7 guys. They're only giving up 125 yards in the rush game on the ground, and then 230 in the air. So certainly offensively, we'll have a work cut out for us. And on the other side of the ball, Tim Cramsey, kind of a familiar name. We saw him in 21 when he was at Marshall, in 22 when he was at Memphis. We faced them. He was the OC. So he's going into his 4th season there. Does a great job. They're kind of a spread RPO, very balanced offense, averaging 37 points a game, 430 total yards a game, and it's very balanced between the run game, pass game as well. I think they may lead the nation in the red zone. I think they've scored 40 or 41 times. I think the only time they didn't score maybe against UAB at the end of the game. They're led by Brandon Lewis, their quarterback. He's had over 2,200 passing yards, or 700 on the ground, accounted for 20 touchdowns, almost 3,000 yards just by himself. Kind of in and out of the game a little bit the other night, so we'll prepare for him. We're going to prepare for all the quarterbacks, obviously. Maiden, a redshirt freshman, came in after that. Hill, the freshman from Houston County, played earlier in the year. So we'll prepare for all 3 of those guys. But I think their game really starts in that running back room. Sutton Smith, a kid out of Atlanta, does a really good job. He's also their kick returner, punt returner, very fast, has the ability to take it to the house. And then number 13, Greg DeSorius, not sure how to say his last name, but 13 does a really good job back there. He can really, go the distance, take the house as well. And then receivers, number 4, we got to keep an eye on. He's especially good in the red zone. He's got 7 touchdowns. And then the slot, Hawkins, is got the ability to kind of, take the top off of it. They put him on the out wide as well. And I think the O-line's been pretty impressive. Left tackle Adams is kind of a guy to keep an eye on, but those guys are done a really good job. I think all in all, we talk about each and every week. It's we're playing a good football team, but as I told our guys this morning, our focus is still on us and how we can be a good football team, how we can play well on Saturday, and keep that the mindset and to focus on the process each and every day. So that'll be it. And excited for our seniors. They had those guys stand up in our team meeting this morning, and just a chance to honor those guys before the game this Saturday, their last game in Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium, and appreciate them for what they've meant to this program, what they've done this season, and looking forward to going to finish it the right way for those guys. So this time we'll go with any questions. You got the real pronunciation there, Steve.
I had it. I don't know if I can do it any better than you.
13, that's it for me.
Yeah, 13 is the way to go. This senior class, can you just expand upon more about what they meant? It feels a little early to be doing senior day, but obviously final home finale and what they meant to you.
Yeah, I think, last week we had our first Saturday game in a while. We had our first day game all season. We're going to have a 4 o'clock start this week, which is a great time for a football game in Dowdy. And then already you're doing senior day with 3 games left. And I think, we don't talk about this enough. We talk about Remember November and playing meaningful games in November. And these seniors have made this a meaningful game this coming Saturday in Dowdy-Ficklin at our place, a conference game, where you have a tie at the top there. And without those young men, we don't do that. And I think there's 28 of them or so, and those guys have what they poured into, not just throughout their career, but into this season has been pretty special, and just very appreciative of what they've done for Pirates this season.
Coach, we talked earlier this year about a team has to be mature enough to win a big game. What have you seen since maybe the BYU game that you see that, hey, this team has matured in those wins and they've matured and ready to go?
Yeah, you see us grow every single week. I think that's where you want to be. You don't want to play your best ball in September. You want to be playing your best ball in November, and I think we continue to grow and push in that direction. And it's just the way, I said this early in the preseason. I said these guys, They love ball, they love to work, and they love each other. And if they'll do that, we will get better every single week. And I think you've seen that throughout the season. And just both sides of football, there's a lot of details in there that we've done better. And to me, as the head coach and the overview of the program, it's our efforts even gotten better, our energy's gotten better, our edge has gotten better. And those are three things I kind of harp on. But if you look at offensively, we're doing a better job taking care of the ball for the most part. We're creating big plays, we keep the sticks moving, and running the football. I don't think we ran the football very well back in September. And defensively, we're becoming stingier and stingier every single day. Doing a good job on fourth down the other day and taking the ball away well. So all those things are going to have to be present this Saturday to win a football game as well.
Coach, with the uncertainty around Lewis and his injury, if it's not him, if it's one of the backups, how do you see the Memphis offense changing on Saturday?
I don't. I mean, I think if Brandon Lewis is back there, he's obviously ran for a lot of yards. If he's banged up, maybe he hands the ball off a little bit more. They keep him in the pocket, protect him, max protect, do some things like that. But I think they're going to still be very balanced. I think they're going to run the outside zone, throw the glance routes down the field, and RPO game. I think that's who they are. That's who they want to be. When Seven Macon came in the other day, they had a quarterback running between the change of quarters there. He hits it up for a long run inside. I think the freshman Hill out of Houston County does a really good job of being a quarterback and operating, doesn't really play like a freshman. So I think they all have some similarities, and I think it's the weapons around them that they have that makes them really, really good too. I mean, those running backs, those receivers, the O-line, kind of all goes together.
Coach, you mentioned they bring a lot of pressure. How do you feel like Caden has grown in that, side of his game when facing pressure from, middle of last season when he took over to now?
Yeah, I think, well, if you compare him to last season when he first came in to where he is now, it's night and day. I texted his mom last week and just told her how proud I was of Caden's growth. Not just on the field, but off the field too. The way he leads our football team, the way he carries himself, the confidence he's playing with, and I think you see it between the lines. And, he does a really good job throughout the week of kind of studying the defense and identifying, who's coming, where the throw's going to be or where the access is going to be. And, like Charlotte the other day, he's stacking the box and he's got the easy RPOs out wide that he's taking. And he continues to make good decisions with that. Sometimes you think your good decisions just in the drop back pass game. Well, for him, it's good decisions in the whole game. Do I hand the ball off or do I pull it and throw the RPO, those things. I think we got to do a better job. Make sure he didn't get hit back there. I think he got hit a few more times I would like for him to the other day. But all in all, I think he's doing a really good job of making decisions to continue to lead our football team.
Coach, you talked about the red zone, and I know this is probably a marquee matchup for this game. It's top red zone defense, top red zone offense. I mean, how are you guys approaching that as far as trying to control them there?
Yeah, what's kind of I always know the stats about our opponent. Like you asked me, I know exactly, bam, hey, they're the top red zone offense in the country. I have no clue about our stats. I just tell you like how bad we play. I don't really keep up with those things, but I'm excited about the matchup and excited about our young men having the opportunity to face a good football team. And I think that's why you play the game. You want to play the game to play against good football teams, and we certainly got one in Dowdy-Ficklin this weekend. And versus a very talented and well-coached football team that we'll see if our guys can prepare and get ready for the occasion and rise to it.
It was a good crowd for the Charlotte game. Just how much would it mean to your guys, a very important game in Dowdy-Ficklin, to have, the home juice, and specifically if they hang around for the second half too, to kind of feed off that and what should be a competitive game.
Yeah, I heard Brian's paying for all the popcorn in the second half, and Stephen, you're buying all the beer in the second half. But I think we talk about it takes everybody, and we talk about energy, and we don't know, that's not just our locker room, but for this Saturday, that's for every fan in Dowdy-Ficklin, and packing that thing out and bringing that juice and bringing that energy and just being a difference. And we got a chance to have a meaningful game in November in Dowdy-Ficklin. What else can you ask for as a fan? And the thing that you can be an impact on the game. You can affect the game with your energy, your noise, and packing that thing out. And people get upset that somebody might leave the game early, 28-0. Hey, I was a college student one time. If my team was up 28-0, I might have slid out and tried to take a nap before the night too, and get ready to go for round two. But you know, I certainly don't think that'll be the case this week. I think you have people staying around for all 4 quarters because it's going to be a dang good football game.
Just curious, where you guys at, with McIver, his injury, and is there a chance he get at this point redshirt and come back for another year? I know he's been in college a while as it is.
Yeah, Xavier's about 30 years old now. Injury-wise, I think we should get Bryce Weaver back this week. He practiced this morning. Xavier's still not ready yet. Just kind of seeing where he's at. We got to do what's best for Xavier and do what's best for our football team. I told some folks this yesterday. Like, my job is take care of our football team and take care of our players and make sure their health and safety is first and foremost. And we got to make sure his health and safety is at the forefront of this thing. And if he's ready to make it back, and can be best for his career, and that's what we'll do. If we need to kind of hold off and lay him redshirt and take a medical possibly, then that may be the best thing. So we got to explore those options, and at the end of the day, make the best decision for him and our football team.
Another thing you mentioned was the rushing game. I mean, you guys have been improving week by week now, and they're obviously one of the best rushing teams, in this conference. But how do you feel like that's going to affect the way things go down to Saturday?
Yeah, I think we had 183 the other day. They're averaging 187, and just talked about the plan to win right there, win the rushing battle, and that's really a full team thing. If our defense can slow them down running the football, try to make them one-dimensional, and if our offense can pound the rock, I think that's a key to success for us. If we can't do those things, it's gonna be a tough day, and that'll be a kind of a chess match between both sides of the football there. Their defense, our offense, and their defense, or whatever it is, and kind of go from there. So looking forward to it. Those are 2 things that we've done a really good job of lately, is stopping the run and running the football. So hopefully we can continue that.
Any other questions for Coach? Thank you, Coach.
All right.
Appreciate it.